I'm just pulling the battery out of the Yamaha 100, the LT2, and I just can't believe it. You wonder how original a motorcycle is. Don't know if you can read that or not. February 1972. How long has this bike not been running? How long has it been setting? That's really pretty incredible. In the last video, we got the bike running, and in this one, we'll aim to make it fully roadworthy. First stop, getting the varnish and rust out of the gas tank. There are a ton of home remedies that work for cleaning these old tanks, involving degreasers, vinegar, acid, and then shaking them around with bits of chain or BBs in them. And it seems like everyone has their favorite. After trying a bunch of these different methods, I personally like to go straight for POR15's motorcycle tank sealer kit, which sells for around $60. It's a 3-step degreaser, rust remover and metal etcher, and tank sealer. Doing the 3 steps over the course of a week's time has always given me perfect results, which hasn't always been the case with the homebrew methods. You can see that the tank is now lined with a thin, rust-resistant layer that will seal any pinholes and should prevent future problems. While the tank was being prepped, I checked out the exhaust and found there was a big pool of oil just sitting in it. I'm guessing the bike had been flooded repeatedly in the past while people were trying to start it, and after the raw gas evaporated, a pool of oil was left behind. I used whatever was handy to chase out the collected oil, including carburetor cleaner and engine degreaser. With the inside of the tank freshened up, I also cleaned the gas tank cap for a good seal. Vinegar really did the trick on this corrosion. The Petcock was also disassembled and cleaned. One of the O-rings was badly worn, so it was replaced with a generic Viton O-ring that came as part of an assortment from the local auto parts store. I also added a small inline fuel filter like you can find at most any hardware store in the lawnmower section. It seemed fine for this application, and it's worked great. While the battery isn't necessary for the motorcycle to run, it's absolutely necessary to power some of the lights and to make it road legal. The headlight is powered directly by the magneto while the motorcycle is running. But the other lights require the battery. With a new battery installed, I was surprised to find all of the lights working except for the taillight, which just needed a new, readily available 6-volt bulb. Even though everything electrical appeared to be working, I went ahead and pulled apart every single electrical connection on the motorcycle, sprayed it with contact cleaner, and added dielectric grease. It takes a while to do this, but it's the kind of attention to detail that can save headaches down the road. Keeping with the preventative maintenance theme, I also lubricated all of the cables and the chain. The air boot connector had rotted away, so I made this very short connector out of automotive heater hose. I also purchased an aftermarket uni air filter for around $25, except it doesn't seem quite right. On the right side of your picture is the stock air filter frame, which is much smaller than the Uni air filter frame on the left. When installed, the Uni filter takes up the entire airbox and, to my eyes, the size of the filter frame will restrict the airflow coming in from the small airbox vent holes up top. But here we are, so I'm going to give it a go anyway. I don't want to run without an air filter. I decided to reward the Yamaha with a little extra shine on a few parts. The heavily stained side cases cleaned up well with some carburetor cleaner and a little scrubbing. The rusty shift lever got cleaned up with the drill and wire wheel. Time to button it all up and take this puppy for a ride. And lastly, I took great pride in bolting on the license plate, making it fully road legal. There just aren't a whole lot of bikes this age that are titled, insured, and being ridden on the road still. Well, here we are about a mile from home. This is really the first ride on the bike of any substance. And I'm just going to check over the lights, make sure the turn signals are working. Yeah, good. Make sure I'm legal. I tell you, the bike has been amazing as far as starting. It seems to want to start on the first kick. 1972. Okay. No headlight. Yeah, so I have to have the headlight or the ignition switch all the way to the right for the headlight, and it runs off the magneto, so it gets brighter as the engine revs. It also takes that switch over there running off the magneto to power the running light on the brake, or the license plate light, or whatever you want to call it. Well, it's really the running light. Alrighty. We're about to discover together what a 1972 LT2 Yamaha 100 feels like. It's revving good. Oh, let's look for smoke. Not hardly any smoke, really. I don't see any smoke. Is it possible for it to be slow and zippy at the same time? Third gear, fourth gear. After almost 40 years, this little thing is rolling on the road. Standing on it is a trip. As short as I am, at 5'5", it feels miniature. It is a small motorcycle. I may be just a little bit disappointed in the top speed that I'm getting, but it also might be choking off a little bit there with the air filter. I hope the electrics all stand up well. These sealed beams are a little hard to come by, these 6 volts, so I want to see what happens if that were to happen to go. It's pretty amazing that all of these old bulbs are working. It had a burned out brake light bulb, but I fished around and I had one of those from an old KE100 that I used to have. The seat is plush. I like the seat. It's comfortable, and wide, and it's well worn right where my butt sits on it. I'm happy to say that the motorcycle did great for the rest of the ride. This was just a short 20-minute jaunt close to home, but some of you may have seen the full-on 82-mile adventure ride video that we did more recently. There's a link in the upper right to that. In the future, I'll also be making a video of additional updates made to the bike, along with a little further carburetor tuning and tinkering. All in all, this bike has really made my summer, and I hope you've enjoyed following along. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like, and I hope you'll consider subscribing for future riding and wrenching videos. Ride safe.